Hello, and welcome to Turn Zero Loss. Today we're going to be starting a new series. This particular series is going to be known as 5 Minutes of Torture about the Rules of Magic the Gathering.
Really
But
rolls off the tongue.
really rolls off the tongue, I know.
Yeah,
For,
very
for short,
subtitle.
for short, it could just be 5 minutes of pain. Today's 5 minutes of pain is going to be David being forced to explain to us how the hell does banding work?
How the hell does banding work? Oh,
Yes. I'll
it's
start a
really
timer for you. Just give me a
okay.
second. Hold on. Yeah, you get 5 minutes. Exactly 5 minutes.
Okay,
You
starting.
will be
Start.
cut off at those 5-minute mark.
Duly noted.
Okay. Go ahead and start.
All right. So, have you ever had a creature with banding and you want to know what the heck it does? Well, I'll tell you. It's actually pretty simple. So, banding is a keyword ability that affects creatures specifically when they're attacking or blocking. So, when a creature with banding attacks, you form a band, okay? And this band can consist of any number of other creatures with banding up to one creature without banding. Now, the way you utilize banding is very simple. This band all attacks together, they all block together, they all do combat-y things together, more or less. Okay? So that means if one member of the band is blocked, every member of the band is also similarly blocked as well. Now, the advantage to banding, and the reason why you would run it, is because when a band attacks the opponent and the band is blocked, the attacker decides who receives the combat damage rather than the normal way it works where the defender orders the damage. So let's say, for instance, you had a band of Colossal Dreadmaw, Banalish Hero working together, okay? The two of them can attack and form a band with Banalish's hero's ability. And when the opponent goes to block it with, say, a Baleful Strix, you can decide, okay, the Colossal Dreadmaw isn't going to take the damage, but the Banalish hero will trade the damage. And the two will die, and you still have your 6/6 Dreadmaw. That's kind of the base reason why you would run it. There's other ways you can do it, but that's kind of the big way to do it. Now, there's a few things you have to remember about banding because there's a few things about it that are a little specific. So you may see on some cards something like, say, band with other humans or bands with other soldiers. It's a form of banding that restricts which creatures can be part of a band. Otherwise, it works pretty much the same way it normally would. If a creature is removed from combat, it's also removed from the band. It's creatures in a band don't share other abilities, and that's very important. So if one creature has flying, like you have a Sarah Angel in your band, and the others don't have flying, then non-flying or reach creatures can still block the band itself. If a creature is removed from combat, it is also removed from the band. All creatures in said band must attack the same target. So you can't, let's say you have a really annoying Oko player and you want to target it. You can't target Oko and the other player. You have to target one or the other. Once the ban has been declared, then that ban remains a ban, even if somehow banding is lost through polymorph effects like Darksteel mutation or Turn to Frog or whatever. In addition, multiple instances of banding are redundant. And that is banding, more or less, in a nutshell.
Wow, you finished it with a minute and 45 seconds left.
No,
So how does it work with, so you use the Colossal Dreadmaw
yes.
example.
Yes, I
It
did.
has trample. Does the band have trample, or
No.
how does...
The band does not have trample. No keyword abilities are conferred upon the band. It is just based on the individual creature.
Oh,
So then how is damage assigned?
Damage is assigned.
Let's say I attack with this band, and let's say they're both 1/1s. Is the band a two damage?
So if the 1/1s are, so let's say like you have the 1/1s and the 6/6 trampler in the band, and this could just be me being wrong about this, but if that is the case, then I believe all the damage is blocked. One member of the band is blocked. And that's kind of why banding is a little risky to run in attacking sense. But the thing of it is that you assign which creature dies. And there's definitely tactical potential to that. There's actually a deck that I'm kind of brainstorming right now that's all about making banding work with creatures that want to get blocked.
So it sounds like to me they somehow mutate is better than banding, even though mutate is far more complicated.
So how does one more question because we're almost out of time. How does defending work with banding? Is it the
How
same
do you
way?
figure?
Are you able?
Yeah, it's more or less the same way it normally would, where when you block with the band, you still assign who receives the block and who gets the damage.
Okay, well that's 5 minutes. So I think you did a pretty thorough job of actually explaining those banding rules. I think I come out of this with a better understanding, despite the fact that it's still a very confusing rule. But I think it's pretty clear to us.
Yep.
It's still not as complicated as death touch, trample, and flying in those all situations. So we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I described was not 100% comprehensive, but it's more or less how the mechanic works.
Absolutely.
And there is a deck tech that we're probably going to run where I make a deck based around banding. So stay tuned for that.
It'll be the most banned deck ever.
Yeah, it banned it immediately.
Make sure you subscribe so you can see that deck tech come up in the future. Make sure you like, comment on the video, follow us on Twitter at Lost Turn, and we will see you in the next 5 minutes of pain when those eventually come out.
Bye.
Bye.